Hey Aries, come sit with me for a moment, because what I am about to share with you today is going to shift something deep in your spirit. You know that feeling when you have been carrying something heavy and suddenly the weight just lifts? That is the energy I am picking up for you right now. The universe and God are working together in ways you cannot even imagine, and I need you to understand that your clean conscience is not just a nice feeling. It is actually your greatest protection moving forward. I am talking about divine armor that no weapon formed against you can penetrate. So if you have been feeling like you needed some kind of shield or some kind of defense mechanism, I am here to tell you that you already have it. And it is called integrity. Before we dive into these cards, I want you to take a deep breath with me, because God is about to speak directly to your situation through this reading. You did not click on this video by accident. The Holy Spirit knew exactly what you needed to hear today, and I am just the messenger. What I love about Aries energy is that you are warriors by nature. But sometimes warriors forget that the strongest battles are won, not with force, but with truth. And that truth, that clean conscience you have been cultivating, is about to become your superpower in ways you have not experienced before. I pulled 3 cards for you today, and let me tell you, the energy coming through is absolutely beautiful. It is like God is saying, you have passed the test. You have stayed true to yourself when others compromised. And now I am going to show you why that mattered so much. You have been in a season where people questioned your choices, maybe even mocked your standards, but you stayed the course. You kept your hands clean. You refused to engage in the mess. And now, you are about to see the blessing that comes from obedience and integrity. Let me start by saying that if anyone has tried to come against you recently, if anyone has been plotting or scheming or spreading lies about you, this reading is going to bring you so much peace. Because what I am seeing in these cards is that your innocence, your clean conscience, is acting like a mirror. Everything that people try to throw at you is bouncing right back to them. It is like you have this invisible shield that God Himself placed around you, and nothing can stick. Have you noticed that lately? Have you noticed how accusations just kind of fall flat? How drama seems to dissolve before it even reaches you? That is not luck, my friend. That is divine protection responding to the purity of your intentions. The first card I pulled for you is the Knight of Wands. And oh my goodness. When I saw this card, I actually got chills, because this is about you, moving forward with such confidence and such fire that nothing can stop you. But here is what makes this so special for your specific situation. The Knight of Wands is not just about action. It is about righteous action. This is movement that is blessed by God because it comes from a pure place. You see, Aries, you have been holding yourself back a little bit, have you not? You have been careful, maybe even cautious, because you did not want to make waves or create problems or give anyone ammunition to use against you. You have been so conscious about keeping your conscience clear that you almost became too still, too quiet. But this Knight of Wands is telling me that season is over. God is saying it is time to move again. But this time, you are moving with His full blessing and protection because you did the inner work. You cleaned up your side of the street. You apologized where you needed to apologize. You made amends where amends were necessary. You walked away from situations that would have compromised your integrity, even when it hurt, even when it cost you something. And now the Lord is saying, because you honored me with your choices, I am going to honor you with open doors that no man can shut. This Knight of Wands energy is passionate. It is driven. It is unstoppable. But what makes it different from just regular Aries fire is that it is fire that has been refined. It is fire that has been through the test. You know how gold has to go through the fire to become pure? That is what you have been through. And now you are emerging with this incredible combination of passion and wisdom, drive and discernment, courage and consciousness. People are going to look at you in the coming weeks and months and wonder what changed. They are going to see this new level of confidence and authority in you. And some of them are going to be confused because they thought they had you figured out. They thought they knew your limits. They thought they knew what you were capable of. But here is what they did not account for. They did not account for the fact that while they were busy gossiping or scheming or playing games, you were on your knees praying. You were doing the hard work of self-examination. You were asking God to search your heart and reveal anything that was not aligned with His will. And because you did that work, because you prioritized having a clean conscience over being right or winning arguments or getting revenge, God is now releasing you into a new season of favor that is going to blow your mind. I need you to understand something really important about this Knight of Wands energy. When you move forward now, you are not going to have that nagging feeling in your gut that something is off. You know that feeling when you are doing something and a little voice in your head is saying, "This is not right. You should not be doing this." You are not going to have that anymore because your actions are aligned with your values, and your values are aligned with God's will for your life. That is what a clean conscience does. It gives you the freedom to move boldly because you know you are not operating in deception or manipulation or hidden agendas. You can look anyone in the eye. You can sleep peacefully at night. You can stand before God and man without shame. And that clean conscience is actually what is making you dangerous to the enemy right now. I am not talking about human enemies. I am talking about spiritual opposition. Because when the enemy cannot use guilt against you, when he cannot use shame to slow you down, when he cannot whisper accusations in your ear that make you second-guess yourself, he loses his power. Your clean conscience is like kryptonite to demonic interference. It is like you are walking around with this force field that darkness cannot penetrate because there is no opening. There is no crack. There is no hidden sin that he can exploit. So when I see this Knight of Wands, I am seeing you charging forward into new territory, new opportunities, new levels of success and influence. And you are doing it with absolute confidence because you know your hands are clean. UKNOW, your motives are pure. You know you are walking in obedience. And that knowledge, that assurance, is what makes you unstoppable. People might try to slow you down with questions or doubts or criticisms, but none of it is going to land because you know who you are and whose you are. Let me tell you something else about this Knight of Wands that is so beautiful. This card often represents a message or communication that comes through with speed and passion. And I am hearing that you are about to receive some kind of news or opportunity that confirms everything I am saying. It might be a job offer. It might be a new connection. It might be an opportunity to speak or lead or step into a role that you have been preparing for. And when it comes, it is going to come fast. You are not going to have a lot of time to overthink it or talk yourself out of it. You are going to have to trust that the work you have done on yourself, the character you have built, the integrity you have maintained, has prepared you for this moment. God is looking for people He can trust with increase. He is looking for people who will handle blessing with wisdom and humility. And because you have proven yourself faithful in the hidden seasons, because you chose character over convenience, because you maintained your clean conscience, even when no one was watching, He knows He can trust you with what is coming next. This Knight of Wands is showing me that you are being launched into a new dimension. And it is happening because you are ready. And you are ready because you did the work that most people are not willing to do. Now, let me move to the second card. And this is where things get even more interesting. I pulled the Emperor for you. And listen, this is major. The Emperor is about structure, authority, leadership, and divine order. This is the card of someone who rules their domain with wisdom and strength. But here is what I need you to catch about the Emperor in the context of your clean conscience being your greatest protection. The emperor represents legitimate authority. This is not someone who grabbed power through manipulation or force or deception. This is someone who earned their position through character, through consistency, through proving themselves trustworthy over time. Aries, you are stepping into an emperor season, but you are doing it the right way. You are not cutting corners. You are not stabbing people in the back to get ahead. You are not compromising your values to climb the ladder. You are building something solid, something that can withstand scrutiny, something that will last because it is built on a foundation of integrity. And that is why your clean conscience is so important right now. Because as you step into more authority, as you gain more influence, as you take on more responsibility, people are going to look at your life. They are going to examine your past. They are going to search for dirt or scandals or hidden secrets they can use against you. But guess what? They are not going to find anything, or if they do find something, it is going to be something you already took responsibility for, something you already made right, something you already repented of and moved past. That is the power of a clean conscience. It does not mean you have never made mistakes. It means you have dealt with your mistakes. You have owned them, learned from them, and allowed God to redeem them. So now when the enemy tries to pull up your past, it has no power because it has already been covered by the blood of Jesus. It has already been forgiven. It has already been transformed into testimony. The emperor is telling me that you are about to experience a level of respect and recognition that you have not experienced before. People are going to start seeing you as a leader, as an authority, as someone whose opinion matters. And this is not because you are loud or flashy or constantly promoting yourself. This is because there is something about your presence that commands respect. There is a weightiness to your words because they are backed up by your actions. There is a credibility to your leadership because people can see that you actually live what you preach. I keep hearing the word unshakable. That is what you are becoming. Unshakable in your identity, unshakable in your values, unshakable in your faith. And that unshakable quality comes directly from having a clean conscience. When you know you are walking in integrity, when you know you have nothing to hide, when you know you are living in alignment with God's will, you become like a tree planted by streams of water. Storms can come, winds can blow, people can throw shade, but you are not moving because your roots go deep. The emperor also speaks to me about boundaries. And oh my goodness, this is so important for you right now, Aries. Your clean conscience has given you the clarity and the courage to set healthy boundaries. You are no longer tolerating behavior that compromises your peace. You are no longer allowing people to guilt trip you into situations that do not align with your values. You are no longer saying yes when you mean no just to keep the peace or avoid confrontation. You have become clear about what you will and will not accept, and that clarity is attracting the right people and repelling the wrong ones. But here's the thing about boundaries that a lot of people miss. Boundaries only work when they are backed up by integrity. If you are trying to set boundaries while still engaging in shady behavior yourself, those boundaries have no power. But when your life is clean, when your conscience is clear, when you are operating in truth and transparency, your boundaries become iron. They become non-negotiable. They become enforceable. Because you are not asking for something you are not willing to give. You are not demanding respect while being disrespectful. You are not requiring honesty while being dishonest. You are modeling the very thing you are asking for, and that gives you moral authority that cannot be argued with. The emperor is also about systems and structure. I am seeing that you are in the process of building something, whether that is a business, a ministry, a creative project, a new chapter of your life, whatever it is. And God is showing me that the foundation you are laying right now is so important. You are not rushing. You are not taking shortcuts. You are doing things the right way, even when the right way is slower or harder or less exciting. You are getting the proper training, making the right connections, putting systems in place that will support growth, and being willing to start small and let things develop organically. And your clean conscience is what is allowing you to be patient in this building process. Because when you are operating with integrity, you do not have that desperation energy that makes people do stupid things. You do not feel like you have to grab opportunities or force doors or manipulate outcomes, because you trust that what is meant for you will come to you in divine timing. You trust that if you keep doing the right thing, God will handle the results. That trust, that peace, that confidence in the process, that is the mark of someone who is walking with a clean conscience. I am also picking up that the Emperor is confirming divine favor in areas of authority in government. Now, this might be literal for some of you. You might be dealing with legal matters or government systems or official processes. And I am seeing that things are going to work in your favor. Paperwork is going to go through. Applications are going to be approved. Systems that have been frustrating you are going to suddenly start working for you instead of against you. And this is because your clean conscience has positioned you to receive favor. When you are walking in integrity, God can move on your behalf without it backfiring or creating negative consequences later. For others of you, the Emperor is about stepping into your own authority and governing your life with wisdom. It is about taking responsibility for your choices, your finances, your health, your relationships, and managing them with discipline and foresight. It is about becoming the CEO of your own life instead of letting life happen to you. And again, this is only possible when you have a clean conscience, because guilt and shame keep you stuck in victim mode. But when you are free from condemnation, when you know you are walking uprightly before God, you can step into that Emperor energy and start making powerful decisions that shape your future. Let me get to this third card, because oh my goodness, when I pulled this one, I literally wanted to shout. The third card is the Emperor. Wait, no, let me look at my notes again, because I want to make sure I give you the right card. Okay, the third card I pulled is the Death card. And before you panic, let me explain why this is actually incredible for you right now. The Death card is not about physical death. It is about transformation. It is about the ending of one chapter so that a new chapter can begin. It is about the old version of you dying so that the resurrected, redeemed, upgraded version of you can emerge. And in the context of your clean conscience being your greatest protection, this Death card is showing me that you have been through a season of serious transformation. Things have ended in your life. Relationships have died. Old versions of yourself have been put to rest. Habits and patterns and mindsets that no longer served you have been crucified. And it was hard. It was painful. There were moments where you wondered if you would make it through. There were times when you felt like you were losing everything. But you know what you did not lose? You did not lose your integrity. In fact, I am hearing that you chose integrity even when it meant losing things you valued. You chose to do the right thing, even when the right thing cost you relationships, opportunities, status, comfort. You were willing to let things die rather than compromise who God called you to be. And that, my friend, is why your clean conscience is your greatest protection. Because you can stand in the midst of all that loss and all that change and all. That transformation with your head held high, because you know you did not contribute to the destruction. You know you are not the villain in anyone's story. You know that if relationships ended, they ended because you refused to participate in toxicity, not because you created it. The Death card is telling me that you are in a resurrection season now. Just like Jesus died and rose again, you are rising from what looked like endings and losses into something glorious. And your clean conscience is what is making this resurrection possible. Because if you had compromised, if you had played dirty, If you had held on to things through manipulation or control, you would be rising into something contaminated. But because you let things die with grace, because you released what needed to be released with integrity, because you trusted God through the death process, you are now rising into something pure and powerful. I keep seeing this image of a phoenix rising from the ashes, but the ashes are clean. There is no toxic residue. There is no bitterness or unforgiveness or resentment mixed in. It is just pure transformation, pure elevation, pure new beginning. And that is only possible when you walk through endings with a clean conscience. Some of you ended marriages or partnerships or business relationships, and you did it with as much integrity as possible. You did not trash talk people. You did not try to destroy their reputation. You did not fight dirty. You just quietly removed yourself from situations that were not healthy, and you let God defend you. And now, you are seeing why that mattered. You are seeing that the people who watched you walk through that season with grace and dignity are the ones who respect you most now. You are seeing that the character you displayed in the ending is what is opening doors in the beginning. You are seeing that your refusal to become bitter or vengeful or destructive has positioned you to receive blessing without baggage. The death card also speaks to me about forgiveness. And this is huge, Aries. Part of maintaining a clean conscience is being willing to forgive both yourself and others. It is letting go of grudges and resentments and the need to be right or to get even. It is saying, I release this to God. I trust Him to handle justice. I am not going to carry this anymore. And that release, that letting go, that is what creates space for the new to come in. I am hearing that some of you have been holding on to hurt or anger or disappointment, and God is saying it is time to let it die. Not because the person deserves forgiveness, not because what happened was okay, but because you deserve freedom. Your clean conscience requires that you do not harbor bitterness, because bitterness is poison. It contaminates everything it touches. So even if you have every right to be angry, God is inviting you to release it, to let it die, to let Him handle it so that you can walk into your resurrection season with clean hands and a pure heart. The death card is also about rebirth and renewal. I am seeing that you are becoming someone completely new. The old insecurities, the old people-pleasing tendencies, the old fear of confrontation, the old need for approval, all of that is dying. And in its place is emerging a confident, grounded, powerful person who knows who they are and is not apologizing for it. This new version of you is someone who can walk in their authority without arrogance, who can be strong without being harsh, who can set boundaries without being mean, who can stand up for themselves without tearing others down. And your clean conscience is the foundation of this new identity. Because this new you is not built on ego or pride or the need to prove anything to anyone. This new you is built on the solid rock of integrity and truth and relationship with God. So when people challenge you or question you or try to knock you down, they cannot, because you are not standing on shaky ground. You are standing on the truth of who God says you are and the evidence of how you have lived your life. Let me tell you what is about to happen in the coming weeks and months. As you continue to walk in integrity, as you continue to maintain your clean conscience, as you continue to choose character over convenience, you are going to see breakthrough after breakthrough. Doors are going to open that have been closed. Opportunities are going to come that seemed impossible. Relationships are going to be restored, or new relationships are going to form that are healthy and life-giving. Finances are going to shift. Health is going to improve. Clarity is going to come. Peace is going to flood your mind and heart. And all of this is happening not because you are lucky, or because you manifested it, or because you hustled hard enough, but because you have been faithful. You have been obedient. You have kept your conscience clean when it would have been easier to compromise. You have chosen the narrow road when the wide road looked more appealing. And God is now saying, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Now enter into the joy of your Lord. Now receive the harvest of what you have been sowing in secret." I want to pray with you before we close. God, I thank you for every single Aries watching this who has been fighting to maintain their integrity in a world that often rewards compromise. I thank you for the way you have protected them, shielded them, and kept them even when they did not realize it. I thank you that their clean conscience is not just a moral victory, but an actual spiritual weapon that is defeating every attack and scheme of the enemy. I pray that you would accelerate their breakthrough. Open every door that needs to open, close every door that needs to close, and surround them with people who honor and celebrate their character. Let them see in the natural what has already been established in the spiritual. Let them walk in the fullness of the favor and blessing that their obedience has earned. In Jesus' name, amen. Aries, I want you to walk away from this reading knowing that you are protected, you are covered, you are blessed, and it is all because you chose integrity. Keep choosing it. Keep walking in it. Keep refusing to compromise. Because I promise you, the best is yet to come, and you are going to be so glad you stayed true to who God called you to be. If this resonated with you, drop a comment and let me know which card spoke to you the most. And if you feel led, say a prayer for the Aries family watching this, because we are all in this together, supporting each other, lifting each other up, and celebrating what God is doing in each of our lives.